Hi, how many temples are there in the Bible? Well, there are 7. In this short video, we will discuss these 7 temples. You will be surprised. You might have actually been in one of them. Watch till the end and see the amazing conclusion that the Bible gives us. Each of the temples has the same layout. It consisted out of the courtyard, the holy place, and within that, the Holy of Holies. The outer courtyard consisted of an altar of burnt offerings and a large basin for the priests to wash their hands and feet. The holy place contained a table of showbread, a menorah, which is a 7-branch candle, and an altar of incense. Then there was a curtain, and behind that curtain was the Holy of Holies, where the ark was. The ark had 2 cherubims on top of it. The word ark actually means box. The top layer of the ark was called the mercy seat. This is where God dwelt. Only once a year during Yom Kippur, a priest would enter the Holy of Holies to make a sacrifice. So God loved us so much that he wanted to dwell with us, and he dwelt inside of a temple. The first temple was made in the form of a tent. It was called Tabernacle, which incidentally means tent. God gave the design to Moses when the children of Israel were in the desert. This tabernacle would move with the Israelites in the desert, and after the children of Israel conquered Canaan, the tabernacle was placed in several locations in Israel. One of the main ones being Shiloh, about 20 miles north of Jerusalem. Temple number 2. King David lived in Jerusalem in a beautiful palace. Now, he thought God should also live in a beautiful building instead of a tent. So he wanted to build a huge temple for God. God, however, told him that he wasn't the one to build a temple, but that his son Solomon should build the temple. So David prepared things for Solomon. He chose the location to be on top of Mount Moriah. Now, Mount Moriah is where Abraham almost sacrificed his son Isaac there. This is called the Temple Mount right now. It's on the east side of Jerusalem. One can see it clearly from the Mount of Olives. The place is also called Zion. Zion is where God lives. So during the time of the Bible, Zion would refer to Mount Moriah. Currently, this place is still referred to as the Temple Mount, but has a Muslim building there called the Dome of the Rock. It's probably the most controversial place on the planet. In around 586 before Christ, the Babylonians destroyed the city of Jerusalem, including the Second Temple. They took the Hebrews to Babylon for 70 years. After these 70 years, most of the Hebrews returned back to Israel, and they built the Third Temple. This is what the book of Ezra is all about. Temple number 4. Forward about 400 years, and the Romans and Herod the Great are in power. Herod the Great was quite the neurotic narcissist. He killed about half of his own family, and he's also the one who killed the babies in Bethlehem when Jesus was born. He did have one strength, though, and that was that he was an amazing builder. He did things that were unbelievable. One of them being that he built the 4th temple. It was so huge that it was known throughout the entire Roman Empire. The stones were humongous. If you could hollow out a stone, you could actually put a condo inside of one of those stones. They were so big. Jesus said that not one of these stones would be left on top of one another, to the amazement of the disciples, and that's exactly what happened. In 70 AD, the Romans destroyed Jerusalem and that entire temple. By the way, if you want to see this incredible building, and you are in Jerusalem, go to the Jerusalem Museum. They have a 1/50 model of the entire city of Jerusalem right before it was destroyed. It's well worth spending time there. I learned a lot just looking at it for about an hour. You'll see how big the Temple Mount is. Temple number 5. This is amazing. 10 days after Jesus ascended into heaven, the disciples were together inside of Herod's temple for the Jewish Shavuot feast. All of a sudden, a strong wind came, and a big ball of fire left the temple and split into many parts and fell upon the disciples. This is also referred to as the Pentecost. God moved out of the temple and moved into all the believers. You want to watch this video about that because it's very exciting. Now, all the believers are one temple of the Lord. We are the new Zion. God lives in us. We are the fifth temple. Interestingly, the number 5 in the Bible refers to grace. We're getting to the end. Hold on. One day, maybe really soon, we will be taken out of the earth in a moment called the rapture. A fake Christ, the son of Satan, or the Antichrist, will start to rule the earth for 7 years. He will build a 6th temple. This will be a time of great tribulation. After the 7 years, we will return with Christ on top of the Mount of Olives. Christ will reign upon the earth for 1,000 years, and there will be a 7th temple. 7 is the number of completeness. Now for the extra. After these 1,000 years, there will be another rebellion, but Christ will conquer and will create a new heaven and new earth. The Bible tells us in Revelation 21, verse 22, that on the new earth there will no longer be a temple because God himself will dwell with us for all eternity. This is so exciting. There will be eternal peace. We will all be united. God bless you. Bye-bye.